The ground is shaking. Again. In most countries, this would be breaking news. People would panic. Cities would shut down. But here in Japan, people barely look up from their phones. You see, Japan experiences over 1,500 earthquakes every single year. That's more than 4 earthquakes every single day. The earth beneath this nation literally never stops moving. And yet, against all odds, Japan has built one of the most advanced civilizations on Earth. Skyscrapers that sway but don't fall. Bullet trains that run with split-second precision. Ancient temples that have stood for over 1,000 years. Despite countless tremors, how is this even possible? I know what you're thinking. How can people be so calm about something so terrifying? The answer lies in understanding something most people don't realize about Japan. This beautiful country sits on what geologists call the Ring of Fire. And it's not called that because it sounds cool. Japan is perched right on top of where 4 massive tectonic plates meet. Imagine 4 enormous puzzle pieces, each the size of continents, constantly pushing and grinding against each other. The Pacific Plate is sliding beneath the North American Plate. The Philippine Sea Plate is colliding with the Eurasian Plate. All of this is happening right beneath Japan's feet. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for millions of years. This makes Japan one of the most seismically active places on the entire planet. Over 1,500 earthquakes are recorded here every year. Now, most of these are tiny, barely noticeable tremors. Maybe a magnitude 3 or 4 on the Richter scale. Your hanging light might sway a bit. Your tea might ripple. That's it. But some are catastrophic. But Japanese engineering, Japanese buildings, especially in cities, are marvels of earthquake-resistant design. They use something called base isolation, where buildings sit on flexible pads that absorb seismic energy. Skyscrapers have counterweight systems that shift to offset the movement. Some buildings have massive dampers, essentially giant pendulums that swing in the opposite direction of the earthquake, stabilizing the structure. Rising from the heart of Japan, standing at 3,776 meters, is Mount Fuji. The Japanese call it Fuji-san. And it's not just a mountain. It's a symbol, an icon, almost a living deity in Japanese culture. I want you to imagine standing in Tokyo on a clear winter morning. You look west, and there it is. Over 100 kilometers away, yet so perfectly clear it seems like you could reach out and touch it. That perfect snow-capped cone shape. It's breathtaking. What's fascinating is that Mount Fuji is actually an active volcano. Now don't worry. It hasn't erupted since 1707. But scientists still monitor it constantly. That eruption over 300 years ago was so massive, it covered Edo, modern-day Tokyo, in ash. Imagine the entire city turning grey overnight. For centuries, Mount Fuji has been sacred. In the Shinto religion, mountains are believed to house gods and spirits. Women weren't even allowed to climb Fuji until 1872, because it was considered so sacred that their presence might disturb its spiritual purity. Can you imagine that? A mountain so revered that half the population couldn't set foot on it. Today, during the climbing season from July to September, over 300,000 people make the trek to the summit. Many climb through the night to witness the sunrise from the peak. They call it Goraiko, which means arrival of light. Watching the sun rise from the top of Japan's highest mountain, above the clouds, with the entire country spread below you. That's something that stays with you forever. But Mount Fuji isn't alone. 70% of Japan is mountainous. The Japanese Alps in central Honshu look like they've been plucked straight from Switzerland. These mountain ranges have created natural barriers that historically isolated different regions, leading to distinct dialects, customs, and even food cultures across Japan. These mountains also give Japan something truly special: the onsen. These are natural hot springs heated by volcanic activity underground. There are over 27,000 onsen across Japan. Imagine soaking in naturally heated mineral water, surrounded by snow-covered mountains. Steam rising around you into the cold air. It's pure bliss. The Japanese have turned bathing in onsen into an art form. There are strict rules and etiquette. You must wash thoroughly before entering the communal bath. Tattoos are often not allowed because historically they were associated with organized crime. It's not just about getting clean. It's about purification, relaxation, and connecting with nature. There's a moment every spring when Japan transforms into something out of a fairy tale. The cherry blossoms, or sakura, begin to bloom. And when they do, the entire nation stops to celebrate. This isn't just about pretty flowers. The cherry blossom holds deep meaning in Japanese culture. The blossoms are beautiful but fleeting, lasting only about 1 to 2 weeks. This temporary beauty represents the transient nature of life itself. a concept deeply rooted in Japanese philosophy. The Japan Meteorological Agency actually tracks the sakura front as it moves from south to north across the country. News channels report on it daily. People plan their entire year around it. It's called hanami, which means flower viewing. During hanami, families, friends, and co-workers gather under blooming cherry trees for picnics. They spread blue tarps on the ground, bring food and drinks, and spend hours just sitting, talking, and appreciating the beauty above them. In popular spots like Tokyo's Ueno Park or Kyoto's Philosopher's Path, people arrive early in the morning to claim the best spots under the trees. I find it beautiful how this tradition crosses all boundaries. You'll see businessmen in suits sitting next to students, next to elderly couples, all united under the pink canopy of blossoms. For those brief 2 weeks, social barriers seem to melt away. But here's something most people don't know. Japan has different varieties of cherry blossoms that bloom at different times. The most common is the Somei Yoshino, with its pale pink, almost white flowers. But there's also the darker pink Kawazu Sakura that blooms as early as February, and the late-blooming Sakura with its full, layered petals. The arrival of cherry blossoms signals not just spring, but new beginnings. In Japan, the school year and business year both start in April, right during sakura season. It's a time of fresh starts, of possibilities. And when the blossoms begin to fall, creating pink snow that carpets the ground, there's a word for that too, hanafubuki, meaning flower blizzard. Even in their ending, the blossoms create beauty. From these delicate pink petals, let's shift our gaze to something entirely different, but equally captivating. Close your eyes and imagine a city where over 38 million people live, where trains run so precisely that if they're even 30 seconds late, conductors apologize, where vending machines outnumber people on some streets, where you can eat at a 3 Michelin star restaurant one moment and grab instant ramen from a convenience store the next, and both experiences are somehow perfect. Welcome to Tokyo, the beating heart of modern Japan. But here's what blows my mind about Tokyo. 400 years ago, it was just a small fishing village called Edo. Then in 1603, a powerful shogun named Tokugawa Ieyasu made it his headquarters. Within a century, Edo had grown into one of the world's largest cities. Fast forward to today, and Tokyo is a city that seems to exist in multiple time periods simultaneously. In the Asakusa district, you'll find Senso-ji, a temple that stood for over 1,300 years. Walk through its massive red gate, the Kaminari-mon, and you're transported back in time. Monks chant sutras. Incense smoke curls through the air, and pilgrims pray for good fortune. But take the subway 20 minutes to Shibuya, and you're in a completely different world. The Shibuya crossing is often called the busiest pedestrian intersection on Earth. At peak times, up to 3,000 people cross from all directions when the lights change. Massive video screens tower above, flashing advertisements. The energy is electric, overwhelming, utterly modern. And then there's Harajuku, where Japanese youth fashion reaches its wildest expressions. On Takashita Street, You'll see young people dressed in styles that range from gothic Lolita to punk to cosplay characters. It's creativity unleashed, and it's uniquely Tokyo. But Tokyo isn't just about the extremes. It's in the quiet details too. The way every tiny restaurant seems to serve the best version of whatever they specialize in. The way parks appear like green oases between skyscrapers. The way people patiently queue for everything, from trains to popular ramen shops. Let me tell you about something that perfectly captures Tokyo's essence. The Shinkansen, or bullet train. This engineering marvel has been running since 1964. It travels at speeds up to 320 kilometers per hour. And here's the amazing part. In over 50 years of operation, carrying billions of passengers, there has never been a single fatality due to a train crash. Never. The average delay is less than 1 minute per year. Think about that for a second. We're talking about trains traveling at the speed of a race car, carrying thousands of people every hour. And they're more punctual than most of us are for dinner. But Tokyo has another side that most tourists never see. Due to extreme space constraints, architects have developed micro-houses. I'm talking about homes built on plots of land, sometimes no bigger than a parking space. These aren't just cramped boxes, though. They're architectural marvels, using vertical space brilliantly, incorporating natural light in clever ways, creating homes that feel spacious, despite being tiny. I remember reading about one house built on just 25 square meters of land. That's about the size of a small apartment's living room. Yet the architect designed it across 3 floors with split levels, creating 80 square meters of living space. The family living there, a couple with their young daughter, said they wouldn't want to live anywhere else. The small size made them feel closer, more connected. This brings us to something crucial about understanding Japan. In Western cultures, we often equate bigger with better. Bigger houses, bigger cars, bigger portions. But Japan has developed an entirely different philosophy. One that finds richness in simplicity. There's a word in Japanese, ma. It refers to negative space, to the gaps between things. In Japanese aesthetics, what's not there is just as important as what is. A room doesn't need to be filled with furniture to be complete. Sometimes, emptiness itself is the design. This philosophy extends to how people live. The average Tokyo apartment is about 65 square meters for an entire family. That might sound impossible, but Japanese design makes it work. Rooms serve multiple purposes. A living room becomes a dining room becomes a bedroom, transformed by sliding doors and foldable furniture. Even in these small spaces, there's always room for beauty. A simple flower arrangement or ikebana in the corner. A small alcove called a tokonoma, displaying a piece of calligraphy, or a seasonal decoration. These touches bring nature and art into daily life, no matter how small the space. And here's something fascinating. Because homes are small, the city becomes an extension of your living space. Need a quiet place to read? There's a manga cafe on every corner. Want to take a bath? Public bathhouses or sento are everywhere. Craving space? Parks and gardens are meticulously maintained throughout cities. This relationship with space has created some unique aspects of Japanese culture. Capsule hotels, for instance. These are hotels where your room is essentially a tube, just big enough to sleep in, stacked like drawers. Inside, you have a TV, air conditioning, and a light. Sounds crazy, right? But they're popular with businessmen who miss the last train home and need somewhere to sleep. Or consider the cafe culture. In the West, we grab coffee to go. In Japan, even the smallest coffee shop is designed as a space to linger, to escape, to find a moment of peace in the urban chaos. Some cafes have libraries. Some have themes like cat cafes, where you can play with cats while sipping your latte. Some are just beautifully quiet spaces with excellent coffee. This efficiency of space, this finding of peace in small moments, this appreciation for simplicity, these aren't just practical solutions. They're a way of life. A philosophy that says you don't need endless space to live well. You need intention, design, and appreciation for what you have. And nowhere is this intention more apparent than in Japanese food culture. Let's talk about something that makes everyone happy: food. And trust me, Japanese food is so much more than sushi. First, let's address sushi. Yes, it's amazing, but real sushi in Japan is completely different from what most of us know. At a proper sushi restaurant, the chef decides what you eat based on what's freshest that day. You sit at a counter and the chef prepares each piece right in front of you. You're supposed to eat it immediately, within seconds of it being placed before you. The rice should be slightly warm, seasoned perfectly with rice vinegar, sugar, and salt. The fish should be at the perfect temperature to bring out its flavor. And here's a secret: you don't always dip it in soy sauce. Some pieces are already seasoned, and dipping them would be considered insulting to the chef. But sushi is just the beginning. Let's talk about ramen. Now, instant ramen is convenient, but real ramen is an art form. Imagine a broth that's been simmering for 14 hours, extracting every bit of flavor from pork bones, chicken carcasses, dried fish, kelp, and vegetables. That broth is then poured over perfectly cooked noodles, topped with sliced pork so tender it melts in your mouth, a soft boiled egg with a jammy yolk, green onions, and maybe some bamboo shoots. Different regions have their own ramen styles. Hokkaido is famous for its miso ramen with butter and corn. Kyushu is known for tonkotsu ramen with its creamy pork bone broth. Tokyo-style shoyu ramen has a clear soy sauce-based broth. Each one is perfect in its own way. Then there's okonomiyaki, sometimes called Japanese pizza. But that doesn't do it justice. It's more like a savory pancake filled with cabbage. Your choice of meat or seafood, held together with batter, cooked on a flat grill, and topped with a sweet and savory sauce. Mayonnaise, bonito flakes that dance from the heat, and seaweed. Every bite is an explosion of flavors and textures. Or takoyaki, little balls of batter with a piece of octopus inside, cooked in a special pan with round indentations. They're crispy outside, almost molten inside, and utterly addictive. What strikes me most about Japanese food culture is the respect. Respect for ingredients, for seasons, for tradition. There's a concept called shun, which means eating foods at their peak season. Strawberries in spring, eel in summer, mushrooms in autumn, hot pot in winter. It's about harmony with nature's rhythms. Even the way food is served shows this respect. Japanese cuisine is as much about presentation as taste. The colors, the arrangement, the dish it's served on, all matter. There's a saying in Japanese: we eat with our eyes first. And here's something beautiful. Before eating, Japanese people say itadakimasu, which roughly means I humbly receive. After the meal, they say gochiso-sama deshita, expressing gratitude for the meal. It's a reminder that every meal involves the sacrifice of other living things and the labor of many people. This respect, this attention to detail, this elevation of everyday activities into something meaningful, it's not limited to food. It permeates every aspect of Japanese culture. Let me take you back in time, to an era when warriors ruled Japan. The samurai. These weren't just soldiers. Samurai followed a strict code called Bushido. The way of the warrior. It emphasized honor, loyalty, courage, and self-discipline. A samurai would rather die than bring shame to his name or his lord. This might seem extreme to us today, but it shaped Japanese culture in ways that still resonate. The samurai carried two swords, a long katana and a short wakizashi. The katana is arguably the finest sword ever created. Japanese swordsmiths would fold steel thousands of times, creating blades so sharp they could cut through bamboo with barely any effort, yet strong enough not to break. Creating a single sword could take months. But the samurai era ended in the late 1800s when Japan modernized. However, their influence remains. The emphasis on discipline, on loyalty, on constantly improving oneself. These values are still very much alive in modern Japan. Then there are the geisha, or as they're properly called in Kyoto, geiko. These are women trained in traditional Japanese arts, dance, music, tea ceremony, conversation. Becoming a geisha takes years. Young girls called maiko start their training in their teens. They learn to play the shamisen, a three-stringed instrument. They master traditional dances. They study tea ceremony, flower arrangement, calligraphy. A common misconception is that geisha were courtesans. They weren't. Their role was to entertain through art and conversation at banquets and tea houses. Even today, hiring a geisha for an evening is expensive and usually requires an introduction from an existing client. In Kyoto's Gion district, if you're lucky, you might spot a maiko walking quickly to an appointment in the evening. Her face painted white, her lips bright red, her elaborate kimono worth thousands of dollars, her wooden sandals, called okobo, making a distinctive clip-clop sound on the cobblestones. It's like catching a glimpse of old Japan materializing in the modern world. Speaking of tradition, let's talk about sumo wrestling. This isn't just a sport, it's a religious ritual. Sumo has origins in Shinto, and you can see this in the ceremonies. Before a match, wrestlers throw salt into the ring to purify it. They stomp their feet to drive away evil spirits. The referee, dressed in traditional clothing, judges the match. Sumo wrestlers, or rikishi, live in training stables where every aspect of their lives is controlled. Junior wrestlers serve senior ones. They wake at dawn, train for hours before breakfast, eat huge amounts of a special stew called chanko nabe to gain weight, then sleep to let it digest. It's a lifestyle completely dedicated to the sport. Watching a sumo tournament is fascinating. The build-up to each match, with its rituals and ceremonies, can take longer than the match itself, which sometimes lasts only seconds. Two massive men clash, and through skill, strength, and strategy, one forces the other out of the ring or makes him touch the ground with anything other than his feet. Simple rules, but infinite complexity. These traditions, samurai, geisha, sumo, they're not museum pieces. They're living practices that connect modern Japan to its past. They remind people of values that have endured for centuries. But Japan hasn't just preserved its past. It's also built an incredible future. Japan has given the world some inventions that we use every single day without even thinking about where they came from. The pocket calculator, Japanese. The laptop computer, Japanese. The CD, DVD, and Blu-ray, all Japanese. The emoji on your phone started in Japan. That QR code you scan, Japanese invention. The electric rice cooker, the flat-screen TV, the Walkman that changed how we listen to music, even karaoke, all from Japan. But it's not just individual inventions. Japan pioneered entire manufacturing approaches. The Toyota production system, with its emphasis on efficiency and quality control, revolutionized manufacturing worldwide. The concept of kaizen, continuous improvement, has been adopted by companies across the globe. Walk through Akihabara in Tokyo, the electronics district, and you're seeing the future. Stores stacked 7 floors high selling every electronic gadget imaginable. Gaming arcades where you can try virtual reality experiences that feel almost too real. Maid cafes where waitresses dressed in Victorian-made outfits serve you. It's sensory overload in the best way. And robots. Japan is obsessed with robots in a way no other country is. There are robots in factories, obviously, but there are also robots in hotels greeting you at check-in. Robot chefs making your ramen. Robots providing companionship to elderly people. Japan has the highest number of industrial robots per capita in the world. Why this robot obsession? Partly it's practical. Japan has an aging population and a labor shortage. Robots fill gaps. But there's also a cultural aspect. In Western culture, we often portray robots as threatening, as potential enemies. Think of Terminator or The Matrix. But in Japan, robots are often seen as friends, as helpers. Think of Astro Boy or Doraemon, beloved robot characters. This openness to technology, this willingness to experiment and innovate, it's driven by necessity. Japan has few natural resources. It had to innovate to thrive. And boy, has it innovated. But here's what's really interesting. Japan innovates while respecting tradition. A robot might serve your coffee, but the coffee ceremony itself still follows hundreds of years of tradition. Buildings might be ultra-modern, but they incorporate design principles from ancient architecture. It's this balance, this ability to honor the past while building the future, that makes Japan unique. Yet for all its technology and tradition, Japan's greatest treasure might just be its natural beauty. Despite being one of the most densely populated countries on Earth, Japan has managed to preserve areas of stunning natural beauty. Let's start with something magical, the snow monkeys of Jigokudani. In the mountains of Nagano Prefecture, wild Japanese macaques, the northernmost monkey population in the world, have discovered something wonderful. They bathe in natural hot springs. Imagine hiking through snowy forest, the temperature below freezing, your breath forming clouds. You reach a steaming pool surrounded by snow and ice, and in that pool, monkeys are sitting, soaking, looking utterly relaxed. Baby monkeys play while their mothers watch. Dominant males sit regally at the water's edge. It's surreal. Like watching an animated movie come to life. These monkeys weren't always doing this. The behavior started in the 1960s when a young female tentatively entered the hot spring to retrieve some soybeans. She discovered the water was warm and pleasant. Other monkeys learned from her. And now it's part of their culture. Yes, monkeys have culture too. Then there's Arashiyama Bamboo Grove near Kyoto. Walking through this forest is otherworldly. Towering bamboo stalks reach toward the sky on both sides. So tall and dense, they block out much of the sunlight, creating a green, filtered light. When wind blows, the bamboo sways and creaks, creating an almost musical sound. It's peaceful, meditative, like stepping into another dimension. In Shirakawa-go, a village in the Japanese Alps, traditional farmhouses with steep thatched roofs stand like they have for centuries. These are called gashozukuri houses, and their design allows heavy snow to slide off in winter. Some of these buildings are over 250 years old, still standing, still functioning. In winter, when snow covers everything and the houses are illuminated at night, the village looks like something from a fairy tale. Hokkaido, Japan's northernmost island, transforms into a winter wonderland. The Sapporo Snow Festival draws millions of visitors who come to see massive snow and ice sculptures, some as big as buildings. Artists spend weeks creating intricate designs, entire castles and characters sculpted from snow and ice. But spring in Hokkaido brings something different. Fields of lavender in Furano, purple rose stretching to the horizon, the air heavy with fragrance. It looks like Provence transported to Japan. Down south, Okinawa offers a completely different landscape. These subtropical islands have beaches with sand so white and fine, it squeaks under your feet. The water is every shade of blue imaginable. Coral reefs teem with tropical fish. It's Japan's beach paradise. And it feels completely different from the rest of the country. And throughout Japan, there are the national parks. 34 of them, protecting mountains, forests, volcanoes, coastlines. The Yakushima Island, where ancient cedar trees thousands of years old grow in misty forests. The Shiratoko Peninsula in Hokkaido, one of the most remote areas where brown bears and eagles thrive. The Aso-Kuju National Park with Mount Aso, one of the world's largest volcanic calderas. Japan's relationship with nature is complex. They've industrialized rapidly, built huge cities. But they've also maintained this deep respect for nature. This recognition that humans are part of the natural world, not separate from it. Shinto, Japan's indigenous religion, sees divine spirits in natural features: mountains, rivers, trees, rocks. This belief system has helped preserve nature even amid modernization. Beyond Tokyo, Japan has cities that each have their own character, their own story to tell. Kyoto, the ancient capital, is where Japan's heart beats strongest. For over 1,000 years, emperors lived here. The city has over 2,000 temples and shrines, 17 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Walking through Kyoto is like walking through living history. The Fushimi Inari Shrine, with its thousands of bright orange torii gates forming tunnels up the mountain, is mesmerizing. Each gate was donated by a business or individual, and walking through them is like walking through a forest of prayers and wishes. The Golden Pavilion, Kinkaku-ji, is exactly what it sounds like. A 3-story building covered in gold leaf, reflecting in the pond before it. On a sunny day, it seems to glow. Then there's the Philosopher's Path, a stone walkway following a canal, lined with hundreds of cherry trees. In spring, it becomes a tunnel of pink blossoms. In fall, the maples turn it into a river of red and gold. Osaka, meanwhile, is Japan's kitchen. This city takes food seriously. The motto is Kuidaore, which means eat until you drop. Osaka is where okonomiyaki and takoyaki were perfected. It's where businessmen loosen their ties after work and eat and drink with abandon. The Dotonbori district, with its neon lights, its giant moving crab sign, its endless restaurants, embodies Osaka's energy. Hiroshima carries a heavier history. On August 6, 1945, it became the first city ever destroyed by a nuclear weapon. The atomic bomb dome, a building left in ruins, stands as a haunting reminder. The Peace Memorial Park is dedicated to the victims and to the hope that nuclear weapons will never be used again. But Hiroshima rebuilt. Today, it's a vibrant city of over 1 million people. Visiting both the Peace Memorial and the rebuilt city center is profound. It's a testament to human resilience, to the ability to overcome even the most horrific tragedy and build something new. Just offshore from Hiroshima is Miyajima Island, home to Itsukushima Shrine. At high tide, the shrine's famous torii gate appears to float on water, its bright orange contrasting with the blue sea. It's one of Japan's most photographed scenes, and for good reason. It's stunning. Sapporo in Hokkaido offers something different. A younger city with wider streets, influenced by American city planning. It's famous for beer, for ramen, and for snow. The Beer Museum tells the story of Japan's beer industry. The ramen shops serve rich, hearty bowls perfect for cold winters. Nara, the capital before Kyoto, has something unexpected, Deer. Hundreds of sacred deer roam freely through the city and park. They're used to humans and will even bow to you if they think you have food. Nara also has Todaiji Temple, housing a bronze Buddha statue 15 meters tall. Standing before it, you feel tiny, humbled. Each of these cities offers a different lens to view Japan. Together, they create a mosaic that shows the complexity, the diversity, the depth of this nation. What amazes me most is how Japan has faced seemingly insurmountable challenges and turned them into strengths. Limited space led to innovative architecture. Few natural resources drove technological innovation. Regular earthquakes created the world's most disaster-prepared population. Even defeat in World War II became an opportunity to rebuild better than before. There's a Japanese art form called kintsugi, where broken pottery is repaired with gold lacquer. The breakage becomes part of the object's history, made beautiful rather than hidden. In many ways, Japan itself is like kintsugi. The cracks and breaks in its history are visible, acknowledged, but they've been filled with something beautiful, making the country stronger and more unique because of them. If you ever get the chance to visit Japan, go. Ride the trains, eat the food, visit the temples, walk through the forests, but more importantly, pay attention to the small things. Notice how people queue patiently. Observe how even the humblest restaurant takes pride in its food. Watch how people wrap gifts with meticulous care. It's in these small moments that you'll truly understand Japan. Because Japan isn't just about the big tourist attractions, as amazing as they are. It's about a way of being, a philosophy that finds meaning in every action, beauty in every moment, respect in every interaction. From the earthquakes that literally shake the ground to the cherry blossoms that quietly bloom and fall. Japan reminds us that life is both fragile and resilient, temporary and eternal, chaotic and peaceful. And that, perhaps, is the greatest lesson this incredible country has to offer. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Japan. Until next time, sayonara.